and welcome to our program, Where God Weeps, a program where we speak about the situation of the suffering and persecuted church around the world. Today we're going to be speaking about the Democratic Republic of Congo, a vast country in Africa which holds enormous wealth and potentially, with over 1,000 minerals and precious metals already identified, has the possibility of being Africa's, if not the world's, wealthiest country. To date, however, the IMF has identified that the average Congolese earns only about $1 a day. To tell us more about this apparent contradiction, it is my great privilege to welcome Father Jérôme Paluku, a Carmelite father working in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Father Jérôme, thank you for being with us here today on our program.
Thanks a lot. I'm the one to thank you for inviting me to share with you, to be in this program.
Father, you are a Carmelite. How did you encounter the Carmelite spirituality in Katamamba?
I grew up in Katamamba. My secondary school, I did it in Goma. Goma is the city, as I said it, bordering Rwanda. And there is a parish where the Carmelite friars are serving. It is where I met the Carmelite friars. And I came to meet them, and I liked their life, especially the spirituality, even though at that time I didn't know so much about the spirituality, and I joined the Carmelite.
And when did you sense, I would like to be a priest?
To tell you exactly when, I don't know. But I remember, this is a very long story, I want to cut it short. When I finished my secondary school, I did 1 year just working with my dad in our farms. And once I went to visit my aunt, she was at the border with Uganda, and she told me her experience with the Mother Mary. And from there I got impressed. I said I would like to become also a son of Mother Mary. From that time, I started looking for a congregation that can allow me to meet Mother Mary. And I found the Carmelite, and I joined the Carmelite.
And that was the beginning of your path?
Was the beginning. I do not regret it. In fact, I think the Lord has shown me this road.
Father, you went then to Ireland and you did your master's thesis in Ireland on a particular topic which is very controversial, I might say, in the Democratic Republic of Congo, and that is the exploitation of coltan. I'd like to address this a little bit more in depth, but perhaps you can tell us, first of all, what is coltan and what is this mineral used for, and is this specific to the Democratic Republic of Congo, this mineral?
To start with, let me say coltan. In Congo we say coltan with a French tone, but coltan is an abbreviation of columbite tantalite, which is a combination of two minerals. And this mineral is very highly looked for. It enters into the making of these phones, or the digital world, can say. The digital world without coltan, I think it doesn't exist.
In my limited understanding, it is this metal which facilitates the faster transfer of electricity within the telephones and mobile devices. Is that more or less correct?
We can say, but it has many characteristics, and it plays many roles. It is used in computers, in telephones, even in arms, even in satellites. So it is used in many things. And this coltan is found basically in the Democratic Republic of Congo. And not the whole Democratic of Congo, but the eastern part of the Democratic of Congo. And there you have
these vast resources.
You have the vast resources. Now, I did my studies in Ireland in development studies, management of organizations and development organizations. And then my thesis, I worked on coltan. My idea was to see how coltan as a mineral, as a resource for the region, instead of being an opportunity for development, people consider it as a curse. Why is this? This came because of two experiences. The first one was from 2008, I was invited by the Justice and Peace Commission or the Episcopal Conference of Congo to do a kind of work research to see the correlation between wars in the Great Lake regions and the resources. At the end, we're a group of 6 people, we found that wars in the Great Lake region are not about people fighting each other the way media tend to present it. It's not about tribalism, it's not about civil war, it is an economic war. People, multinationals going for the resources. And the resource which we are looking for first is the coltan. So I wanted to see why this resource has become a curse. The second thing was that my experience was that my own brother-in-law, he left my sister, his wife, he went to search for coltan. For about 4 months he was there, he wasted all his resources, he came back sick. The investment they had made before, they had to spend it for his treatment. And at the end, he remained without nothing. And this showed me how really it is chaos. So I wanted to know, to go deeper and deeper to understand why this phenomenon is a curse. That is why I did the research.
Let's touch a little bit upon the workers. The majority of workers of coltan, if I understand correctly, are so-called migrant workers, poor people who work with picks and shovels and often with their hands. And if I'm reading and researching properly, up to 40% of the workers working in these areas are children. Can you tell me, am I correct in this assessment? And can you give me a little bit of an understanding of what does it mean to be a normal worker in this kind of an environment?
Yeah, it is a very tricky situation. When I went for my research, Congo had, in that region, there were 27 mining sites. And these 27 mining sites, among them, only 7 were declared as a green mining sites, meaning these are sites where people can access without militias guarding, without soldiers. They are supposed to be working without children. But what is funny, in my research I wanted to know, are children working? Now, what I found was that only the 4 sites where they say children are not working, officially, those ones, they are not children. I say officially. But other sites, I couldn't access them because of insecurity, and surely they are children. Even in this site, there was a kind of system, a monitoring system. There were entrances. When visitors come, there are people to alert those who are on the site, and children are hidden. So a research to know exactly how many children are being used becomes very difficult, because it's a whole system made in such a way that you will not know how many children are there. It happened only that I went to find, by surprise, I found about 4 or 5 children inside, and they regretted why I entered without their knowledge, because they didn't know. But children are there, sometimes they hide them.
Were you not putting yourself at risk? Because I can imagine that the mining companies wouldn't be too enthusiastic about a young seminary, a young priest coming and trying to investigate, do research. So first of all, were you not at risk? And then secondly, is the church, and can the church do anything in this regard other than perhaps what we're doing now is to put a flag up and say this is going on and still today?
The first thing, I knew I was in danger before going. So I took all the measures official measures to enter the mining. I took all the permission from the ministry, from the church, my superior, from the bishop. Everybody knew that I'm going for this work. Reaching there, I knew I was in danger, so I had to adapt. The first thing was to just be like anybody who's going for mining.
What could they do, or when you say I would have been in danger, what did this mean?
I could be killed. First of all, the investigation was very sensitive. I could be killed. And once they know you have all the permission to enter the mine, so it becomes a bit, they know that you have been sent, you have official permission to enter the mining, to do what you are doing. There, it becomes a bit difficult. But when you go there without all the permissions, they can kill you and disappear anytime. That one is obvious. So the second thing, when I went there, I had to not appear as a stranger. So I had to dress as anybody there, to work as anybody in the site, and not give any sign of being a stranger. And that could allow me to access more information as I needed.
So you went in as a worker?
Not as a worker, but I went in as anybody. I entered in the mine, but I had always people to accompany me from the authority of the area. This is the village called Rubaya. I had the authority. So I was a bit secure of what I was doing.
And then to the second question is, with this knowledge, has the church been able to do anything, or can the church do anything, or the forces simply too powerful to be able to affect any kind of change?
The Church of Congo, of the Democratic Republic of Congo, is doing so many things. I can say so many things. They have set up even a commission at the Episcopal Conference of Congo dealing with the natural resources. And they always get involved in sensibilizing the people there. They do a lot of work. And as we are speaking now, we are working together with the representative of the UK to the Holy See, working together with the Church of Goma and Bukavu to see, especially with the missionaries of Africa and as Carmelite, and some sisters who are the Caritas of Bondo. Bondo is a diocese bordering almost Uganda and Sudan. We are working to see how we can organize some type of topic, some kind of seminars to involve pastoral agents in these issues. But the church itself is doing many things already at the ground.
Father, since 1996, we have been speaking about these wars, which you now define as economic wars, and I would agree with you, that these wars bordering Rwanda, Burundi, Uganda, have claimed the lives an estimated 5 million Congolese. You yourself were working with refugees during this time. Can you give us a little bit of an insight into your work and how you came to be working specifically with the refugees, and where were these refugees coming from? How did you handle them? How did you help?
I can say there are two moments when I worked with the refugees. The first was that I was aspiring, I was preparing myself to join the Carmelite. And it happened that time, it was 94, 95, I was in the Carmelite community, ready to join the Carmelite to start the formation. And this time, we had the war in Rwanda, the genocide of Rwanda.
Yes.
So the people, the refugees, came in Congo, especially in Goma, Bukavu, and other areas. And in Goma, we had about 5 camps of millions of people. In our own property, in the Carmelite parish called Katindo, there were about 4,000 people there. And in this time, I had to give a hand to help the father who were doing this and that to help the people. Even at that time, our own lorry, the lorry of the discussed Carmelite that was there, was being used to collect people who were dying and to go to dump them, allow me to this word, to bury them in the common graves. So this is something I saw and I give hand in this to help the people, those who
To
survive.
help the burial and the, yes.
The burial, even to give food, to give water, to give whatever I could do. The second moment was when I was serving in the parish of Katindo from 2005 to 2009. I was permanent there, serving, and we had internal displaced people. They had their camps around the parish, and we estimated the camps, we had about 50,000 people around there. So in the parish, being a pastor there, we had to go to meet the people for pastoral reasons, for masses, for confessions, even for counseling. And sometimes we need to go there to advocate for them, to go to meet some organizations. They need this food, they need this, they need medicine, they need what we could not do alone. We're partnering, we're just seeing different stakeholders to go and help in this area. Even up to now, we are trying to help children who are victims of this war, and with the Episcopal Conference of Italy, we are constructing a school in which we take care of children who are victims of these wars in the eastern part of Congo.
How do you process this internally? How do you process this spiritually? Did you not feel overwhelmed or confronted by this evil? Which how did you manage this spiritually in your spiritual life, to see all of this somehow overwhelming suffering, and to try and digest this spiritually and manage this spiritually?
It is really not easy. It is really not easy, because when I see it, to see people coming to me, those who I knew they had a good situation, they were very, very good people, they had they were well-to-do people coming without anything it touches. But at the end, to see that people they were those who died and those who were still alive, and to see that they could give hand, to help some of them, it gave me a kind of satisfaction. So every day was a kind of praising God, say, God, see what I'm doing. I'm doing this not because I'm capable of doing it, because you are the one doing this through me. And this was the only way I could feel that I could say I'm useful here. Otherwise, without seeing that there is God, there's kind of miracle there, we could get depressed even. But seeing the people, how they were, and coming to me, I was saying, I have no reason to go under depression. Because if I'm depressed, now, these people to whom would they go? And this gave me a kind of courage. But every day, I had to go back home when I'm coming from Apostle, from the camp, and go in front of the Holy Sacrament, tell Jesus, Jesus, you are the only one who can do this. I'm not capable. And this was where I was getting the strength to continue the work. Otherwise, I could have become only a humanitarian, or I don't know how to say it. Yes.
An activist.
Only that.
I want to touch on one very painful part of all of this conflict, and that is the role of women. Particularly, the United Nations has called the Democratic Republic of Congo a center of rape as a weapon of war. According to a 2011 study published in the American Journal of Health, nearly 50 women are raped every hour across the country. Is this something that you also experience this, and how do you console, how do you help in this very, very painful environment?
You know, this is a situation where we are dealing with a very sensitive issue. First of all, those who are raped, according to the culture, according to the mentality, they will not come out openly to say that we have been raped. There are many, but many do not come openly to say that.
Out of shame.
They are ashamed. I have an experience of a couple where the wife was raped and the husband was threatened to be killed. He ran away. And then I had to help the wife to go to the hospital, and at the end, thanks to the embassy of Belgium in Kinshasa. Thanks first to the nuncio, because the secretary of the nuncio helped me to go to the embassy to mediate, and the wife joined the husband, and they are now together. But it is really something very bad. Rapes there, really, it is a weapon being used, because to destroy a woman, they think that I can say the dignity of man is his wife, his children, his daughter. Now, to destroy a wife, to destroy a mother, sometimes in front of the children, is to kill the man, even if he's not there. It's what they are doing. And this is what they are doing to destroy. The culture cherishes the woman. The woman in the house is all for the family, for the children, for the husband. So to rape a wife and to make the husband know that the wife has been raped is to kill the wife, to kill the children. So if they have missed you as a husband, because you are maybe have run away, they are looking to look for you, so they go to your wife. And they know they have destroyed you where you are when you hear that. And this is how they are resisting this. And I really agree that it is a weapon being used there. It is a weapon being used there. Unfortunately, it's a weapon being used there. And unfortunately, I would say, even when the UN is there, these are continuing. More than 20 years of the presence of the UN, with more than about 20,000 soldiers there for the UN. These are continuing.
They're powerless.
Are they powerless? Are they complice? I don't know. But this, everybody can notice that more than 20 years they are there. They are continuing. How can you explain this?
Father, what can we do? We have a apparently overwhelming, one thing is that we are now communicating the message. The other thing is we seem to have an overwhelming challenge where there are so many interests in one particular area, as we've spoken about, this area where there's so much wealth, which has become a curse because so many countries are interested in exploiting this wealth for themselves, causing these wars. How do you see a way out?
According to the research I did, the people are convinced the resources are a curse because the elite of the country are corrupt, because the institutions are not functioning well, because the multinationals are being involved. So a way out, it's at many levels. First of all, the powerful countries, those who are leading this world, if they want, they can serve the people there. And this can be possible if the people also of these countries can get involved in raising awareness to their people. See what you are doing in those countries. For sure, the media are telling them these are Africans, are Congolese, are barbarians, are killing each other. This is not true. The reality is that multinationals would like to access minerals. And to access these minerals, they have to clear the territory. And these are killing. So if people out there, especially in very powerful countries, they can start telling their own government, please help us to stop this. It can help. The church has been doing a kind of lobbying, but it's not enough. The church alone. The voice of multinationals with money is too much. The church sometimes finds itself limited. So that's the first thing. The second thing, and which the church is doing already, to raise awareness among the people themselves, to make them be aware of the fact that there is no need of fighting each other while this fight is benefiting to those who are very far. The church is doing this. But at the same time, you find multinationals having power, sending arms. Those are things that are killing. I can tell you this. I've tried to see in Congo, there is no single industry that produces arms. But when you go there, you find their arms, even in the villages, people are getting arms. Where are they getting them? From the country that they are making them. How are they reaching there? It means they are being shipped in, sometimes using some international NGOs. This is not, they are proofs of that. They are proofs of that. So it's a kind of, my appeal would be to ask for, first, anybody who can to give this message around him. This war is not a barbarian war, it's an economic war. And all the government are involved. May it be the government of Congo, may it be the government of the leading countries in the world, they are involved. So if you can have some way you can enter, you can pass a message, say, you are doing this, it can help somehow. It can appear like a drop in an ocean, but somewhere it will help. And this is what I think.
Father Jérôme, thank you very much for having been with us today on our program. And we will continue to pray, we will continue to speak about this challenge facing the church.
I would want to thank you. I would want to thank the aid to the church in need for what it does, especially for the people who are really suffering. You are doing a lot. And for me, this is, I can say, you are the proud of the church. Let me say like that. Even though it may not appear as something great, but it is something which is being felt at the ground. And to conclude, I would say, I encourage the church where they are, because I've noticed that, especially in the North Kivu province, whenever there is a problem, it is enough for the priest to move or the sisters, one of the region to move, everything goes in chaos. And for me, I would call the church, please, let us continue to support the people the way I've been doing. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Father.
You are most welcome.
And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for having been with us today on our program, Where God Weeps. And if you'd like to know more about the work of Father Jérôme Paluku or the work of the church on the ground in the Democratic Republic of Congo, I would encourage you to look at the contact information at the end of this program. And we look forward to seeing you next week. Take care.